What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Thinking Cap, and in this one, it's the Game Week 6 preview where I'll bring you the latest injury updates, Game Week 6 goal and clean sheet projections, as well as the best 4.5 million defenders to buy on Wildcard 6. Thinking Cap activated. Begin with some of the injury news today, guys. So first off, I will just say that João Pedro is out for the Brighton game this weekend. Spurs also, Sonny is a doubt. Now, what Ange Postecoglou did say about Sonny was that it doesn't look too bad, but he is still a doubt. But he does have another day because it is on a Sunday, I believe. And so the official quotes from Ange Postecoglou were, "I don't always have the final say, but I like to say that my input is significant on it, but the way the way that Son's been performing and leading the club is certainly we want him to stick around for the while, and he's got another day for him to actually recover for that Manchester United game. So perhaps Son could be in, he could be out. Let us see what happens there. And David Raya, we did not get any clarification as per usual from Arteta, who is a bit of a, he likes to kind of leave things quite misty. And just looking at all of the training photos, there was none with David Raya in it, so we don't actually know whether David Raya will be involved or not. The official quotes from Arteta were, "We have to wait 24 hours to see if he's looking good or not that good. It's not about risk, it is about a player being fit or available or not. We will make the decision tomorrow." And on Jurriën Timber, he was able to take part in training today, so that's good news, and he will be in the squad for that game. And Ben White also is available. And that is all on Arsenal. So if you do have Raya, I would honestly, I'm leaning towards the fact that he probably will start that game. So I wouldn't really worry too much about it, but he is a doubt. So if you're on a wildcard 6, maybe you should move away from there. Maresca did say that Lavia is back now. He's back available for the game. They've got also one more session to see who's actually going to be in that lineup for Chelsea. So the only person that's out for the Chelsea squad is actually Reece James at the moment, which means Gusto is back as well. That's very good for Cole Palmer. And interestingly, on Wolves, now there's the squad was actually struck by a virus, which is a little bit worrying, and it's very good for Liverpool attackers, for your Liverpool players, assets in general. This is what Gary O'Neill said. There's quite a bit of illness with players that will need a check. He did say there's a virus going around, and some players did miss training today. When you're losing games, it becomes tougher to win them, but they are a resilient group. So even Gary O'Neill is a little bit worried about that, the fact that they do have a virus going around. Some players might miss out. And Eddie Howe, he did say that Alexander Isak, is nursing a toe problem and that he is a doubt for tomorrow's game. And he hasn't actually trained yet, so he'll have to make a decision on that. If you do have Isak, I'm not sure Isak will play this game. We don't really know. Again, Howe is one of those managers where he's a little bit cloudy with what he says. Sometimes he'll say a player's out and then the player plays. And the final injury update I have for you guys is Oliver Glasner with Crystal Palace. And he did say that Chalobah is available to be in the squad and perhaps start, and most of the other players are available too. So that's all of the injury updates I've got there. I don't think. Oh, I do have one more. Liverpool. So Alisson Becker. Slot did say that he does expect Alisson. Alisson is ready to return from injury, and he did train yesterday, part of the session, and they expect him to do the full session today. So that means Alisson probably looking likely to start against Wolves, and he is going to drop in price very soon. So maybe if you're looking at a Liverpool pickup at 5.4 million, that could be a really, really, really good option. Moving on to taking a look at the goal and clean sheet projections for Game Week 6. Arsenal and Leicester City looks like the game to target according to the bookmakers. 55% clean sheet odds and 2.7 projected goals for Arsenal. That's the highest this game week. And Arsenal do have Leicester. They do have Southampton in Game Week 7. So if you are looking to hop on a couple defenders, maybe an attacker, definitely look at Arsenal players this game week because The projections look very, very, very strong for them. Liverpool have the second highest clean sheet odds this week with 38%, and they're also second highest projected goals with 2.45. Perhaps selling Salah this week isn't a good idea, guys, and I wouldn't be selling your Liverpool defenders, especially if Alisson is back in the team, because it looks like could be a clean sheet with the Wolves illness that's floating around. Bournemouth have very strong projections versus Southampton, and Semenyo looks like a really nice pickup this week, and the entrance point is great too, as he's got Southampton this week and he's got Leicester away next week. Man City and Newcastle, that's the early kickoff in game week 6, 2.15 projected goals for Pep and 1.18 for Eddie Howe. City with a 31% clean sheet odd. So it doesn't really seem like the bookies are taking much impact for Rodri's injury. It doesn't look like they're saying it's going to make much difference to the City defense, which is really actually quite interesting. I think it will actually have quite a big impact on City's defense. So let's see what happens there. Brentford West Ham projections, they are quite close actually. And so are the other games as well. I do think Villa's projections are spot on, as I do rate Ipswich decently high for a promoted team. So 1.8 projected goals with 31% odds for a clean sheet. That's solid value for your Villa players this game week. I don't think I would be looking to bring in Villa players, but sit on what you got in that game. Forest Fulham, the bookies are backing both teams to score in this game, and they're giving the edge slightly to Nottingham Forest, who are projected 1.43 goals in that game. Forest are still unbeaten, so I think looking at your Forest players, I probably would keep some this week unless you are on wildcard. Everton Palace, basically the same, very tight game, both teams to score. However, it is the away side that actually have the 0.02 gap in terms of projected goals on the home side of Everton, but it's a tight one, so it's really hard to gauge. My favorite 4.5 million defenders to get on Wildcard 6 or just to get in general are Collins from Brentford, Colwill from Chelsea, and Murillo from Nottingham Forest. All three are nailed for their teams and they're all center backs, but they offer solid attacking potential. Colwill currently my favorite, but he doesn't rotate well with your Arsenal guys or even your Liverpool guys, so you need to find a nice rotation plan for him going forward if you are going with him on a wild card. He does have some stinky fixtures in the long term, but I really rate this Chelsea defense under Maresca. I think it's a really nice time and it's a good place to invest in before a lot of people are on there. 2 home games coming up, and I really, really, really like the Chelsea defense. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Chelsea this season, and I think going for a Colwell at 4.5 has a lot of value, especially because Sanchez is at the 4.7 million price point. Nottingham Forest and Murillo, they've also already shown that their defensive capabilities are very strong. They've shown that in the first 5 game weeks. And yes, Aina is attacking, but Murillo is fully, fully, fully nailed. Whereas Aina, there is some doubt there. I know he can play both sides, both flanks, but there is a little bit of doubt. He could miss 1 or 2 games where you really need him. Murillo just offers you that safety. And the other center back, he does have a little bit more goal threat than Murillo, but I like Murillo as a player. His data may not be as good. He may not be the target from set pieces like I think it is Nedeljkovic, something like that. That's the guy's name. But he's just a really fun watch. He likes to take some pop shots at goal outside of the box, and he's actually just a proper player. I really, really rate him. And if you're looking at a 4.5 million guy, some decent, okay fixtures long term, he could be the guy for you. Look at his rotation, look at and see what you can plan with Murillo. And finally, on Collins. Look, I'm not hot on the Brentford defense at the moment, but the long term fixtures are there, and he's the most nailed one in that defense. Just speaking to some Brentford fans, they say basically apart from Flecken that Collins is really the most nailed one in that defense. However, it's just still some risk if you do pick him, as Vandenberg could play there too. They've also got centre backs coming back, and game week 7 and game week 8 between those 2 weeks is an international break, so I'm sure a lot of players will be coming back from injury in that week. But yes, guys, it's a short game week 6 preview guide. If you did enjoy this one, then smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you have absolutely any dilemmas, post them in the comment section down below, and I will respond to every single one. And check out this one right here if you want to find out who my best captain is for this game week and why. Peace.